Paige?
Yes.
What is it that you're doing by the window?
I'm making sure no one steals our bikes because I'm paranoid.
Has anyone stolen yet?
Nope. But you can.
Where are they?
They're right there. In the little corner.
Okay. So you're gonna guard them?
Yeah, from inside the window.
What if someone steals them? What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna run out. I'm gonna bang on the window and then I'm gonna run out the front door and tell them go away.
Okay. Today we're gonna go to Chico. I'm gonna show you the guys around where. Oh, okay.
Today we're gonna go up to Chico, California to drive around or to ride around and see where Bryan grew up.
But first, we're gonna make some coffee. How are the bikes doing?
Are they doing all right?
I lived in Chico for probably like 16, 17 years, and this is the first time that I ever biked all the way from 1 mile all the way to Upper Park. I gotta tell you, no clue why it's taken me this long to actually do that bike ride. It was amazing. I guess I've never had a bike that could actually go off-road and on-road, so maybe that's why I did it this time. It's interesting, you can live somewhere your whole life and not take advantage of, the things that are unique to that area because you just take it for granted, And you don't know those things until you go somewhere else. And I've been in Sacramento for 4 years now, living in Midtown where you can't get any peace and quiet. You can't, go anywhere without cars all around you and people all around you. So, man, did I take this for granted. Paige, how was the bike ride? Oh, there's a bee.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to talk about. You wanted a bike for years, but we were worried because we lived in Midtown. And how many bikes get stolen in Midtown like every day?
Probably 100.
Probably 150 bikes every day get stolen. So I was like, no, we can't get bikes. First of all, we have a tiny little apartment. Where are we gonna put it? Second off, it's just gonna get stolen. You're gonna waste however many hundreds of dollars. But I think that's something that I think sometimes we get like afraid of all the responsibility and all the things that come with things, and then it's just easier to not do it. It's easier to just be like, no, they're just not going to deal with it. But then we don't get opportunities like this where we get to, take our bikes somewhere and ride it and have an amazing time. So even though there is a risk that someone's going to run by and steal our bikes, I think it's worth taking that on and just, being aware of that and dealing with that so that we can get the benefits for having the bikes. What do you think?
I think it's worth the risk. Sure, I may or may not have stood guard from the window watching the bikes every time we left the car because I was paranoid someone was going to steal it, but If we didn't have our bikes, we would not have been able to bring them up to Chico, and we would not have been able to ride 6 miles to the river and get some fresh water. And
Yeah, speaking of fresh water, how cool is this thing?
yeah.
We just put river water in it, and then the river water
filtered.
is drinkable. It's great. Well, anyways, yeah, we just rode about 6 miles up here. We got about 6 miles back, and then we got dinner tonight, and then tomorrow we're going on another adventure on the Sacramento River. You excited about that?
Yeah, we're going fishing.
We're going fishing. All right. See you guys later.
Bye.